Hello everyone, welcome back to Linux Network. In today's video we're diving into something called Secure Boot. Maybe you've heard of it while installing an operating system, or maybe you've seen it in your BIOS or UEFI settings. But what exactly is Secure Boot and why should you care? Stick around and by the end of this video you'll understand how Secure Boot works, why it's important for your computer security and what it means for Linux users like us. So let's break it down. Secure Boot is a security feature built into most modern computers. It's part of the UEFI firmware, which has replaced the older BIOS system you may have heard of. Think of Secure Boot as a bouncer at the door of your computer's boot process. It checks IDs, in this case digital signatures, to make sure only trusted software gets inside and runs. Here is how it works. When you turn on your computer, it starts loading essential software, like the operating system. This is called the boot process. Secure Boot steps in and asks, is the software safe and trusted? It does this by checking a digital signature against a list of trusted certificates stored in your computer's firmware. If the software signature matches the trusted list, the boot process continues. If not, Secure Boot blocks it and stops the system from booting. Why does this matter? Without Secure Boot, malicious programs like bootkits and rootkits can sneak in during the boot process, taking control of your computer before the operating system even starts. Let's talk about why Secure Boot is such a big deal. Imagine your computer as a house. The operating system is like the main door, and Secure Boot is the lock that ensures only authorized people can enter. Without a good lock, anyone, even intruders, can get in. Here are the key benefits of Secure Boot. Secure Boot prevents harmful software like bootkits and rootkits from running. These types of malware are dangerous because they hide deep in the system, making them hard to detect and remove. By stopping untrusted software, Secure Boot helps keep your data safe. If an attacker can control the system, they can't access your personal files. With Secure Boot, you can trust that your computer is running clean, unaltered software every time you turn it on. This is especially important for businesses and government organizations. But what about Linux users? We'll get to that in a moment. Stay with me. Alright, let's break down how Secure Boot actually works. Software developers sign their programs using a digital signature. This is like a seal of authenticity that proves the software hasn't been tampered with. Your computer's firmware stores a list of trusted certificates. These are like official stamps that tell your computer which signatures are valid. When your computer boots up, Secure Boot checks the software's signature against the trusted list. If it matches, the software is allowed to run. If not, Secure Boot blocks it. Here is an example. Imagine you're at an airport security checkpoint. Your boarding pass and ID are checked against a list of approved passengers. If everything checks out, you board the plane. If not, you're stopped. That's exactly what Secure Boot does for your computer. Now let's address the big question. What does Secure Boot means for Linux users? If you ever tried installing Linux, you may have run into issues with Secure Boot. Here is why. Some Linux distributions like Ubuntu, Fedora and OpenSUSE works out of the box with Secure Boot because they've obtained trusted certificates. This means their bootloaders are signed and recognized as safe. Less popular distributions or custom kernels may not be signed. In this case, Secure Boot will block them from running and you'll need to disable Secure Boot in your UEFI settings to proceed. Linux is all about user freedom, and some users feel that Secure Boot can limit this by requiring signature software. However, it's important to balance freedom with security. For most users, enabling Secure Boot adds a valuable layer of protection. If you're wondering how to enable or disable Secure Boot, here's a quick guide. Restart your computer and press a key like F2, F11, F12, Del or Escape during startup. This will open your UEFI firmware settings. Navigate to Secure Boot menu. This is usually under Boot or Security. Toggle the Secure Boot option based on your needs. Save your changes and exit. Keep in mind, disabling Secure Boot reduces security, so only do this if it's absolutely necessary. Before we wrap up, let's bust a few myths about Secure Boot. Secure Boot only works on Windows. Not true. Secure Boot is a hardware feature, not a Windows exclusive tool. Many Linux distributions support it. Secure Boot is just marketing hype. False. Secure Boot provides real protection against advanced malware that targets the boot process. You must disable Secure Boot for Linux. Only sometimes. Popular distros like Ubuntu and Fedora work perfectly with Secure Boot enabled. All around, Secure Boot is a powerful security feature that ensures your computer starts safely and runs trusted software. Whether you're a Linux user, a gamer, or just someone who wants a secure system, Secure Boot is worth understanding. That's it. And as always, if you found this video useful, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.